Alright, how you guys doing today? We're about to hop into a little reaction. The first things first, though, just want to make sure y'all light the video up. You know what to do. Hit the lights in full screen, scroll just a little bit, light the video full screen and back up. You feel me? So if you notice the crutch is right there, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm just holding up for a friend. Anyway, so the reason we're doing another reaction is because I have 25 minutes to upload this before this channel technically doesn't become a daily thing. So got 25 minutes before midnight. I'm trying to get this out to y'all. We got a video from the world's highest IQ record holder, Young Hoon Kim, and this is titled "I Can Prove That God Exists Mathematically." So let's just check out what he has to say, right? I already believe God exists, and even if he said he didn't exist mathematically, don't care. So let's check what he says.
Hi, I am the world's highest IQ record holder, Young Hoon Kim. I can prove that God exists mathematically. I want to show you that even with very simple math, we can understand why God must exist. No difficult formulas are needed, just the three easy facts that even children learn in school. First, a line cannot start without a first point. Think about drawing a line on a piece of paper. In geometry, every line has to begin with at least one point. Without that first point, there is no line at all. The same is true with existence. If there was never a starting point, then nothing could have ever begun. But we clearly see that life and the universe exist. So there must have been a first point, the starting point, that set everything in motion. Second, you cannot cross an endless past. Imagine counting down. If you start at 10 and go 9, 8, 7, all the way to 0, you can finish. But if I tell you to start at negative infinity and reach 0, you can never finish because there is no start, no first step. Time works the same way. If the past had no beginning, today would never have arrived. But here we are, living right now. That shows time must have had a first moment, and there must have been a first cause that set time into motion. Third, multiplication shows that power must come from somewhere. Think about 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. The answer is always 1. Nothing changes unless you bring in a stronger number, like 2 or 3. In the same way, if the universe only repeated itself with no new power, it will never begin or grow. There must be something greater, a real source of power that multiplied everything into existence. Now, let us put it together. The only explanation that fits all three is a first cause, starting point, necessary, powerful, timeless, and intelligent. And this is exactly what we mean when we say God exists. Thank you.
So obviously this video is very short, but I do want to point out one thing, right? I can say that confidently I dislike this video in one aspect, is that it seems like it's just an argument from authority, right? And I don't know. Let me look something up. All right, so when arguing with a lot of people, right, they're gonna bring up what's noted as a logical fallacy. One of those is an appeal to authority, or basically, in layman's terms, this means you get the authority figure to back you up to add validity to your argument, which, and it's not always wrong to do so, right? Like it says, it's just, it can be wrong just because somebody has degrees, right? Let's say I get a doctor to tell you why X thing is bad for your health. However, that doctor is an optometrist and not a cardiologist, right? So they're coming from a whole different standpoint and just saying, like, I think, right, that the person always doesn't appeal to the argument that's needed, right? So it's an appeal to authority. And the reason that a lot of people hate logical fallacies, right? I never actually looked at the definition. A lot of people just throw around the word logical fallacy, right? It's an error in reasoning that makes an argument flawed, invalid, or misleading, even if it appears to be sound at first glance, right? So makes an argument flawed, invalid, or misleading. But the thing is, a lot of these, when you really think about it, they're not a horrible thing, right? Like a lot of people like to say, you're making an argument from ignorance or an appeal to ignorance, which is when you make a claim and say it's just be true because no speaker knows any evidence against the argument, which doesn't necessarily make something true, nor does it make it invalid. It's just kind of misleading, which I wouldn't necessarily say is a logical fallacy. But if somebody can't prove something wrong and you can't prove it right, it's a gray area, which means you can act in a way as if you think it's right or wrong. It's not necessarily going to prove that it's right or wrong, but acting in a way as if it was doesn't seem like the worst thing to do, right? If somebody said, people say this all the time, this thing is unhealthy, this thing is healthy, regardless of which is true, people are still going to eat it one way or they're not going to eat it another way. And it's like, what are you really going to do? You're not going to stop them. That's what they want to do. So I kind of hate logical fallacies as a thing, like saying, oh, your argument is less valid because you're using a logical fallacy, which can just make an argument misleading but not necessarily wrong all the time, right? Bringing somebody who's an authority figure on the matter usually brings some validity. Keyword, usually. An appeal to ignorance, right? You can't disprove my fact, so logically I'm allowed to move in a way that I think is right, or I think that thing is right because nobody's disproved it. You can't disprove it. What's wrong with me acting as if it's correct if you can't disprove it? Doesn't matter that I can't prove it. The fact that it's not disproven goes to show that there's a chance that it might be okay, and I can move in a way that it's not, right? Some things are just dumb, like when they were talking about nobody can go over Niagara Falls in a bucket or whatever the frick it was, an iron basin. I don't really even know what they were trying to do, right? And they're gonna live. The first person to do it said, well, nobody disproved it, it's not gonna be true, so that doesn't mean it can't happen, right? He died, the next couple people died, but that one, I think it was a girl actually, the one girl did it, right? She went over the thing in the iron thing or the whatever, broke some major part of her body, bone or whatever. But guess what? Just because people proved it to be wrong, it still was proven that it's possible later. So even though something's not proven wrong necessarily, that doesn't mean you can't move in a way that it's not right. So I don't really like logical fallacies. Maybe I'll do a video on logical fallacies in the future, right? But as for now, I don't really like them. So even though it was an appeal to authority, right? He's the highest IQ record holder. If IQ means nothing, why do we test it so much, right? Why is that even a title? But, you know, it's an argument for another day. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Alright, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.